There's a lot of back and forth going on online about why I got banned once again. Well, you might have actually heard the truth. I got banned specifically because I covered the motives of the Israeli embassy staff shooter
in violent, harassing rhetoric as well as threats of doxing. Reminder that the sort of news and information that Ethan Klein is trying to distract from, instead that he's experiencing a mental health crisis and lashing out at people. I hope he gets the help he needs, but importantly, let's not lose focus on Israel's genocide. Also one of those things where like streams should not be your therapy. Oh, okay, well then, yeah, maybe you shouldn't be allowed to read shooters' manifestos. That's clearly a violation. Hasan has, he's done a bad thing here. And imagine that it just goes from that. And then I saw people posting the fact that he's read 4 other shooter manifestos over the course of the past year, I believe, none of whom got him a suspension. It was uniquely when he was reading a shooter manifesto for someone who had shot 2 Israeli embassy members that he got his 24-hour suspension.
Hello. If you're watching this, that means I just got banned. As in, I got a temporary 24-hour suspension. And we're back together on this deep, up-close, and personal YouTube video. Welcome back to the Hasan channel on YouTube. Now, some of you are probably wondering, considering that there's a lot of back and forth going on online about why I got banned once again. Well, you might have actually heard the truth. I got banned specifically because I covered the motives of the Israeli embassy staff shooter, which apparently, according to Twitch terms of service, dictates a suspension, even if I critically examined the manifesto, which is precisely what I did. The reason why I read this is specifically so that you understand that, like, there is a shit ton of people that are like, no, this is the shooter's actions were directly about finding.
I was like, I'm gonna turn off the screen for the 2 seconds because I think the manifesto's on screen. Yeah. Just don't roll the dice.
Jewish
you know?
victim
I don't have this power.
Okay, it's deliberate. It's clear what his reasoning is. You don't have to agree with what he did, and I'm not urging you to. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. But it is deliberate. Ask yourself why the media is not saying that the shooter did this because they were distraught with the violence that they had seen unfolded in Gaza. And the reason why I had critically examined the manifesto of the Israeli embassy staff shooter was because there was a lot of misinformation taking place, as is the case usually online whenever there's a breaking news story. This is what I do. A big part of what I do is holding people's hands through the news media process by allowing them to think critically and helping them understand media literacy. This is precisely why I was covering the manifesto that my friend Ken Klippenstein was able to find and release. Another friend of mine, Eric Toller of the New York Times Visual Investigation Unit, had also uncovered the manifesto of the shooter around the same exact time, and he had also released it on his Twitter page. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because oftentimes when instances like this happens, the media will take bits and pieces of a manifesto to create a framework around the motive. But in this circumstance, the media actually was quite quiet about the manifesto in and of itself. And I think that's newsworthy, but that's not the story here. The story is that I got banned for it. I got temporarily suspended because this is a part of the Twitch terms of service. You are not allowed, as it dictates right here in front of me, to even show a violent extremist manifesto on stream while denouncing it. This, I think, is not good for news and press freedom. And I said on Twitter, I'll take the suspension, but I hope Twitch changes its policy in the future. And I do believe they might. Having said that, how do we get here? Especially considering that I had covered manifestos of the Cybertruck explosion. First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control.
Do I have to take this off screen too? I guess don't roll the dice anymore. Times have changed.
My first car was a 2008 Black Mustang V6 for verification. The Luigi Mangione manifesto. I do apologize for any strife or traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. The Wisconsin school shooter manifesto. Some people think it's pure nothing, but because the hate they make, it ends up killing them without knowing it, which go right ahead. I don't mind, but kind of do at the same time. The literacy rates are abysmal.
Just a heads up to the editing team. I don't know if this is going to be going to Austin Ox or whomever over at the Hasan channel. If he's been banned for something and then you're making a video to talk about that, even a video essay, maybe just blur the materials that he was banned for. So when people want to talk about it and report about it on Twitch after the fact, I don't have to be worried about rolling the dice.
In this country. The manifesto of Ryan Ruth. Dear world, this was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I'm so sorry I failed you. Wait, how did he know? And also the Israeli diplomat shooters manifesto. The atrocities committed by Israelis against Palestine defy description and defy quantification. Why was this different? Why was this a big deal? I'm covering all of these different manifestos on stream, and I've never been banned for it. Well, I believe the reason why this was actually a little bit different is because there was a lot of outside pressure in the immediate aftermath of this shooting. The ADL, Apartheid Defamation League's very own Jonathan Greenblatt, went on CNN only hours after the shooting had taken place to make incredibly slanderous statements about me, stating that I was responsible for this. My rhetoric was responsible for this. Let's take a look.
All of us need to call it out. I'm thinking about the New York Times doing a gauzy profile a few weeks ago of this gamer, Hasan Piker, who regularly employs awful genocidal rhetoric against Jewish people in the Jewish state.
This is slander through and through. I do not apply awful genocidal language towards Jewish people. I don't believe.
You should sue. Honestly, you should. I don't think that any single one of the leaders of any of the, pro-Israeli propagandist organizations is ever going to stop unless they face any kind of consequence for their actions. They're going to continue. Like, that's a wild thing to state on national news with millions and millions of people watching it, to be like, yeah, I think that there is a demonstrable correlation between the words that Hasan Piker has said and a violent extremist who took action into his own hands.
Believe that even a genocide that the Israeli government is doing justifies a genocide to the Israeli government or the Israeli people. I am not the one who is defending a genocidal state here. Jonathan Greenblatt is. Having said that, this slander continued with no pushback from the CNN anchor, which I think is rather strange.
Extremists should not be empowered. People who spout prejudice should not be platformed. This is a moment when we need to look ourselves in the mirror and say, we've got to stop this because the consequences are deadly.
Here, Jonathan Greenblatt was making an implication that my rhetoric was responsible for this Israeli embassy staffer shooter going out and finding Israeli embassy staffers and shooting them. This is ridiculous. There is no connection between me and the shooter.
He already addressed suing for this? What was the statement? I understand that it would be obscenely expensive, take forever, and also just be weaponized against him. I mean, that is the reality of it.
The shooter actually followed a bunch of people. I was not one of them on Twitter. He was not following me. What the do you mean? He was, however, following a bunch of, he was following Joe Weisenthal, you know what I mean? To Jonathan Greenblatt's statement, I replied with, Israel is an apartheid state doing a live stream genocide. I think it's wrong and dangerous to conflate these heinous actions with Jews and Judaism. Yeah. The Apartheid Defense League doesn't, because they think they can improve Israel's standing by silencing its critics. It, however, will not change the truth. And this is important to note, because that's not where the story ends. During my coverage, there were a lot of people that stated that perhaps the embassy shooter was maybe a false flag operation. I do not believe that. Part of the reason why I covered the manifesto was precisely for this reason, to make sure that we understood the motives and we understood exactly. So I guess Jake Tapper, one of the most important members of the media, who just came out with a book talking about how the media narratives did not match up with what the people were seeing in terms of Joe Biden's senility, is still doing.
I was right about Jake. I saw Jake come out with one of those videos where he was complaining once again about how Democrats, like he joined the throng of Democrats who were saying that Democrats are too, invested in social issues right now. I don't know why we're spending so much time on this. It's not a winning electoral issue and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, every, center-right lib who's saying that the future of the Democratic Party lies in becoming more like Republicans is doing a death march.
Ridiculous things like this. It doesn't make any sense. But of course, all of that pressure inevitably led to Twitch taking this action. I had covered manifestos in the past on my broadcast. None of those manifestos actually met the same level of scrutiny. This one did. And I don't believe this one did exclusively because it was about Israel. I think this manifesto was simply used as an opportunity to try to get me banned by gaming the terms of service. I did not think I was going to get suspended, but I'll take it.
tempers a
The
news
real
grifter,
reason the ADL and numerous other organizations are actively trying to come after me, however, is because Israel is falling out of favor. Because many Americans and many people in the Western world are now finally seeing the truth that Israel is an apartheid state that is built around an ethno-supremacist ideology, and that Israel is doing a live-streamed genocide. Yesterday, they killed a doctor's family. 9 of this doctor's children burned, charred. Images such as this can be seen all over people's timelines and all over social media, because now people have unprecedented access to the victims of a genocide, unlike ever before. This is the reason why Israel has fallen out of favor and has become a pariah state on the global stage. This is the reason why now Western leadership, who have supplied Israel with arms in order to engage in such violent acts for the past 19 months, are finally turning around and stating that perhaps.
But it's one of those things where, like, you keep seeing people say, like, oh, I think this has to do with the TikTok algorithm. Or maybe TikTok is making kids more anti-Semitic or something like that. I just don't understand why so many people are saying free Palestine. Did they not know that the Palestinians are not pro-gay rights? Have we brought that point up yet? Or have we talked about how, Hamas is bad or something to that effect? I don't know why so many people globally are becoming so outraged and so galvanized and so active in this so rapidly. It must have something to do with algorithms. Maybe it's got to be those, the companies in China that are forcing children to be more anti-Semitic or something.
Perhaps Israel should allow aid in, that perhaps Israel should stop doing war crimes. A former Likud, far-right Israeli prime minister recently came out and said, enough is enough. Israel is doing war crimes. Israel has fallen so out of favor that The Atlantic, that a year ago wrote to...
I saw that. I was like, if you lose The Atlantic, that really shows you how there's a changing of the tides right now.
Rebut Hamas's allegations by letting journalists see the war up close would be a calculated risk. Even when conducted legally, war is ugly. It is possible to kill children legally if, for example, one is being attacked by an enemy who hides behind them. This was written on The Atlantic only a year ago. And now that very same Atlantic magazine is writing articles such as this one. It should not be controversial to plead for Gaza's children. Israel's limits on aid have put the region at critical risk of famine. Help is within reach, but it's not enough, and it's arriving too slowly. The reason why the tide is shifting is because the pressure valve is insurmountable. Too many people know exactly what's going on, and as fascist ideology is a suicide cult, it seems like Israel is bringing the rest of the Western leadership down with it. Israel is no longer a democracy. You cannot be a democracy while you want to maintain an ethno-supremacist state that is an apartheid state, and you certainly can't be a democracy while doing a genocide. But the Western world that seemingly was able to abide by and hope that the pressure goes away from the broader public are now being forced to listen to the demands being made by the public. So there is a interesting bargain here ahead of us. Will our politicians listen to our voices and try to maintain the presence of a democratic process, or will they go down with Israel? As I say here, every day that goes by, more and more people realize the truth. The very same institutions that spent countless hours defending and contextualizing Israel's genocide will now change their tune. Try and deplatform me all you like, but you can't change what people have seen. One day, everyone will behave as though they were always against this. I'm Hasan Piker. I hope you can keep supporting me and watch.
And by the way, that includes people now who are trying to suddenly, change course in terms of their statements. Emmanuel Macron, Keir Starmer, Mark Carney, every single one of them who are now putting out, again, strongly worded statements with absolutely no concrete actions behind them. It doesn't count. They need to be on the record permanently as someone who may have public face at the most dire of moments, when there's literal children's skeletons flooding people's timelines every day. At that moment, they were like, oh, okay, well, we just want to say that we are for Israel's right to defend itself, and we are for a two-state solution, but we are certainly not for this, whatever this is, and things have gone too far. And it's like, no two-way arms embargo, no sanctions. Absolutely nothing. You're not even cutting off, diplomatic ties, not even formally recognizing the state of Palestine, which is something you could do immediately if you actually cared about this issue, but not doing that either. but strongly worded letters. There's going to be strongly worded letters, and those strongly worded letters are going to be used years from now as evidence that, oh yeah, no, we were against the genocide. That if you don't know that we said here that like things had gone too far and we weren't for it. Apparently, people have been celebrating though. RM Brown has some of the clips.
Phoenix is out there like boom, 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 boom against the side of that thing. Okay. Whoa, wait a second. 1,760,000 views in 9 hours? Whoa. Those are not even close, but almost Miss Rachel numbers right there. Whoa.
Wow.
What the hell
Weird.
does this guy right here say?
I do not think that it makes sense that you should get suspended even if you simply talk about a manifesto or if you show a video of its first event happening.
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't think it makes any sense.
Right.
I don't. And it doesn't make any sense. Now, is that what Hasan did?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, right.
Based off of his previous actions and the way that he lies, I think the probability is that that's not what he did. But we don't know that.
Okay.
I think you're a bunch of Hasan.
It's awesome too that Asmongold has just no resources to look any of this up either. You just got to be like, I got no way of finding this out, but I'm just going to assume he was a massive piece of shit.
On viewers in your chat now, he's banned. Well, of course. Right? Everybody is going to call into question, why is it that X, Y, and Z person got banned for a longer period of time,
right?
But Hasan got banned, and he blatantly showed all of this bad stuff.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I do not.
Please
explain it.
It's
Jesus, man. Am I allowed to speak? I guess not. What is this guy? Some kind of monologist or something? Can I get a word? What was I talking about? Yeah, this is kind of hard to ignore. I've been seeing a lot of this stuff, this guy,
Hasan Parker,
one of the biggest internet personalities, He's one of the biggest internet personalities, even though, well, now I'm not sure after seeing Miss Rachel's numbers, but he's one of the biggest, even though
videos aren't real.
And I'm seeing all over the news and all over these YouTube channels, they're like, hey, he needs to be banned. We gotta ban this guy. And I like this one. This guy's huge too. Massive views for this guy. What the hell is that guy? Who's watching this? Asmongold TV. This is a funny one. It's kind of baffling because he's like, look, Twitch just suspended this guy.
Hasan Parker.
They suspended him for a day or something. I don't really get it. It looks like they're interpreting the terms of service in like their own kind of way. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. He probably was doing something bad. I like that part too. He was probably doing something bad. I don't know. Probably was though.
As you just discovered who Asmongold is, he's doing bits. RM Brown's a really funny guy. He's got a lot of good bits.
No, but I don't know. I don't know if I agree with this. They're interpreting his content in a way that makes him bannable. But then he kind of implies like, I think he should be banned though, because he does a lot of other bad stuff that I'm interpreting in my own way as bad. Okay. A lot of people who seem to be against banning and shadow banning and nano magic and dark shadow arts, now they're kind of like into it. The failing daily... Pendejo! The daily... Toilets. They did an article on this just now, that this guy got a suspension from Twitch. Twitch, that's where people...
I'm such a child. RM Brown soundboard is so effective against me, and it's sometimes just as silly as having that weird little pug sound. Just hearing that sometimes is all it takes.
They'll go, shut up! About video games. That's where they play video games like a bunch of...
dangerous morons.
Okay,
It's
there's
true.
nothing you wouldn't expect in this daily... What is it? Daily Wire article, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the hell's going on over at the Daily Wire. Look at this, I don't know if this is some AI thing, or they fired all their editors or
Streaming platform. It is weird to have just such a blatant spelling mistake in the first word of the article. Streaming platform, Twitch has suggested.
something, but check out this article. Here's the first thing. Streaming platform, Twitch. Okay? Hey, no problem. Everybody makes mistakes. Okay, let's check this out. Next paragraph, a quote, first letter, lowercase. Okay, you know what? That's just style choice. Period, lowercase t. Okay, no problem. Okay, there's another one where okay, they're all not capitalized. All the letters after the period are not capitalized.
Maybe
no
it's a
problem.
URL.
Wait, what the
You
hell
don't
is
know.
this? Okay, yeah. Okay, there's usually an apostrophe and a capitalization there. Okay. I mean, look, I'm not some kind of
You know what's funny is that like an actual AI grammar editor probably could have picked these up too.
grammar pervert, but this is, it's like hard to read. Actually, that's actually kind of refreshing. The Daily Wire is like, we're not going to be reined in anymore. We're not going to be reined in anymore by having to capitalize stuff, put apostrophes. Who started all this? I did read somewhere that the Daily Wire is firing a bunch of people.
They did, yeah.
It's failing. No one wants it. It's garbage. And that does seem...
Jose has a good new video on that. I was totally right. It's all because Jeremy Boring is, he has bigger dreams than being a conservative pundit. He wants to be a star. And because he wants to be a star, all these theater kids, him, James O'Keefe, you name it, they're bankrupting these companies to be able to produce these extremely expensive projects. And two of them might not see the light of the day. There's the Snow White movie, which I guess because Brett Cooper's gone, that one's going to have to be in some kind of legal... do we release it? Do we have to get her to sign a new release or a new contract? Do we even want to bother with that? How expensive could that be? Apparently they're done pre-production on it. They just have to finish post-production, but we'll never know if that movie comes out. And then there's the Pendragon cycle, which is this massive sprawling Game of Thrones tier fantasy series of novels that Jeremy Boring actually got the first season of the show produced. They've got enormous production budgets with costumes and everything that you expect out of like an HBO production, but that one might not see the light of day anymore either. So that's millions and millions and millions of dollars of money that is, in part funded by their subscriber base, but also funded by, outside investors who want the Daily Wire to keep spewing, anti-trans hatred and stuff like that, are now having to suffer that Jeremy Boring actually wanted to turn it into a movie studio that doesn't make successful movies.
like confirmation. Like,
Good for him.
Oh, we got to barf up some articles because there's still people paying for this crap.
Okay, I want to move on to creators I've never seen or heard of before. What is this?
Not even close to what I was picturing. Got the little blue eyes and the fur coat. I'm okay. Never judge a...
Gonna be honest, VTube stock is down so low right now because it's just like every other day I see someone post something where it's just like, yeah, this Nazi VTuber, oh, this is Rat Girl. She's known well in France for being a Nazi, but in America she's fooled everyone into thinking that she's just like super friendly and stuff. Or, oh, here's that weird dude with the mask who makes all of those anti-Hasan slop videos. Apparently he's got an opinion.
Book by the... Well, what would it be? Like the inside of the book. All right, anyway.
VTubers, to people asking, they're virtual streaming hosts, virtual tubers, as in it's a person just like me, and then you can put software on that'll have me animated by a character, and you can do anything, right? Like I could be animated by a bowl of soup right now and be a talking bowl of soup, and that would be my show. And I really was pro VTuber when for a while I was being told that like this actually is a good thing for accessibility. This helps people who are too shy to be on camera, or people who may, have some form of dysmorphia, that they don't like seeing themselves represented on the screen, that they want to experience seeing themselves as a cartoon or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, then yeah, this could be a really good thing if it improves accessibility to a lot more people and allows them to stream where they couldn't be streamed before. Then yeah, I've got absolutely nothing wrong against VTubers. Then I was betrayed by multiple VTubers, and they just turned out to be really terrible people. Illuminati and aristocracy are two good examples of that. And then every other day I was just seeing a story where it was like some VTuber, there's so many far right VTubers and like actual full blown like Nazis who are VTubers, and then hide behind the veneer of the whole like, oh, I'm a cartoon character though, so you can't take me totally seriously. Like, what are you getting mad at a talking anime character right now, or a talking bowl of soup? And I was like, yeah, but that talking bowl of soup is spreading some pretty fucking racist shit right now. I'm not sure that we should ignore all of these racist bowls of soup.
6 minutes and 20 seconds. And while Twitch is getting a ton of criticism already for this, there are some people overjoyed, celebrating the return.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like in the same way that there are some Nazi furries, that's not indicative or speaks for the entire furry community. Furries are, for the most part, incredibly awesome and usually pretty based. So I'm not saying that VTubers as a totality are all evil. I'm just saying that their stock right now, in terms of the amount of stories I'm seeing online of bad VTubers, is starting to get quite high.
of Hasan. You know,
Sick.
it's really weird how some of these people are with Hasan. There's like literal accounts
Who?
on Twitter that are
Hasan
dedicated
Parker?
to like spreading propaganda for Hasan.
Hasan
And I say
Parker?
that in like half jest but half seriousness as well. Like there are literal accounts that just post things trying to make Hasan look good. That's what these people are dedicating their lives doing by like daily
Sick.
posting multiple posts that are just trying to make
That's
Hasan
sick
look
stuff,
good.
man.
It's very bizarre. Like I don't really see that happening to anyone. But
It is.
Hasan's got that going on. As weird as that all is, though, what's even worse of a look now is Twitch. Like Twitch has already looked terrible for their biased moderation.
I like
but this
this.
might be the worst they've ever looked regarding their moderation practices.
Right. You know, we get so divided. But I just got to say, I do still love the internet. I still love the internet. I love that.
Actually, maybe we can play a little pool.
This out.
I'm sure he's mad.
I have no problem self-reflecting.
It's already amazing.
Resurrection is about the people.
Recently was in New York, and I did an interview with Adam Friedland. And he made it.
No.
Wow.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Can I not wait? Where is that? Is that all? Hold on. I'm going to search right now for this.
Did that actually happen?
Adam. Oh, god damn it. Now the thing's all big. Okay. I'll deal with this later. Okay.
But many people are pointing the finger at Hasan Piker,
Hasan Parker?
notably with the ADL appearing
Parker.
on CNN and making references to things that Hasan has said.
Okay.
I will say it again. Hasan's allowed to have his opinion on this stuff.
No, he's
My
not.
understanding is that he's condemned this, and I'm not playing these stupid games. Now, I know.
Whoa! Hey!
Hey man, whoa, I'm just an innocent man trying to watch a video.
You're giving me one of these. Hey, you're giving me one of these. Hey, you're giving me 3 of these. Hey, man.
Like I said, fucking 12. As soon as I hear that weird sounding pug, I don't even know how he found that weird sounding pug sound.
She spit on them.
Maybe a lot of people who are, I don't want to necessarily say on the right, but just not left, not woke, who are
okay.
going to say, what do you think they do to us? How they blame us? Indeed.
Indeed.
I don't think lying or misrepresenting or falsely stating or having bad logic, I don't think that serves us.
Yes,
now,
it does.
to be fair.
Yeah, what are you talking about? That's your entire brand. I've never met someone who more consistently goes in front of a camera and then every day just says whatever the fuck he wants, even if it's completely factually incorrect, and then afterwards just, no, I don't have to issue any corrections on that. Yeah, no, I don't care.
Okay.
I have talked about how I believe rights are for those who believe in rights, meaning
Right.
if you defend free speech, I will defend your free speech. If you try to take my free speech from me, I won't defend you.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I disagree with free speech. It just means I'm not.
No, that means you don't have morals or principles and you're basically just choosing friend game. That's it. Well, I mean, were you nice to me? Okay, if you're nice to me, then I'll stand up for you. But if you weren't nice to me, then I don't have any values or beliefs or principles.
And personally, I think that's a belief for wankers.
Going to lend any aid to people who are trying to destroy me. In this regard, the point I'm bringing up is, and I'm going to show you some of these clips.
Oh my god. Oh my god, he's the best. As always, the best newsman / content creator of our time. He's probably regretting not being an anime character as well. It's fine. But that's why I love this channel. You could just see, you could always see the little kid wheels turning.
It's true. Hey, go check out the comedy silence of R.M. Brown if you thought some of those sound effects were funny. I think some of them are good. I even added one of them to my own board because
The next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead.
it helps. So, Hasan gets banned. Taylor Lorenz makes a statement. Taylor Lorenz says, Hasan has been banned for 24 hours for covering the Shooter's Manifesto, even while denouncing it. Yet another example of social media censorship of newsworthy information and coverage. You'll notice, because I want to be clear about this, there's absolutely nothing in this post about Ethan Klein. There's no Ethan Klein is a bad man. Ethan Klein has been lying about denims calling CPS. Ethan Klein has been trying to target smaller people with accounts on Reddit and try to dox them and then show everyone their family members. Nothing like that. Ethan Klein is not mentioned at all. This has nothing to do with Ethan Klein. But Taylor Lorenz made a crucial mistake. She defended Hasan, which apparently is enough for Ethan Klein to put you on blast on his massive Instagram account, into his stories, the only place he feels comfortable posting from, because he doesn't want to get any kind of feedback or negative response to what he posts. So he just, like a coward, posts from behind Instagram every single day and makes his stories that gets a lot of his fans super mad and makes them take action. And so because Taylor Lorenz had said this, Ethan puts her on blast. Taylor Lorenz begins the sweeping process. She is without a doubt the biggest hack loser in journalism. I say in quotes because any reputable organization wouldn't hire her for free after insane lying scandal. What a terrible and talentless person. This, again, pretty strong words for someone who was not talking about you at all, who I guess had the audacity to stand up for Hasan and saying that I think that this is a dangerous precedent and people are going to start specifically being banned for topics when they speak about Israel. But yeah, apparently this was enough for Ethan to get real mad, put her on blast, which of course resulted in Taylor Lorenz getting a full day of nonstop, and I mean, she's very used to it, but harassment online. But then Taylor revealed something that I didn't know about, which was an interesting part of the story. Someone tell Ethan that he and his wife can stop begging me for my help with their Reddit situation if he's going to post rants like this. I've been nothing but respectful to Ethan during his entire meltdown and went out of my way to help Hila and him barely a month ago after they asked me. Now that's interesting. So before making this post, which again does not include Ethan Klein in any capacity, he was going, "Save me, Taylor Lorenz! Save me! Oh, Taylor! Only you can save us!" And was reaching out to Taylor to try and help him with his targeted Reddit harassment campaign. Which again is just wild. If you were doing all that behind the scenes, you clearly didn't think that this was the biggest hack loser in journalism, because you reached out to the biggest hack loser in journalism. Unless that was all a trap or something. But then again, Taylor had the audacity to make a single post standing up for Hasan after he got banned, and that was enough to have this entire rant. And by the way, I have no issues with Hila, who's always been perfectly nice and a kind human being to myself and others, but Ethan is absolutely off the rails and needs to get help. I have a very long track record for defending free speech online, whether it's the people I like or hate. I have an entire YouTube series called Free Speech Fridays. Hasan being banned for doing journalism has nothing to do with Ethan, and it's psychotic how he centers himself in a completely unrelated reporting and stories that have nothing to do with him. Anyways, Ethan, next time you want help with Reddit or anything else, frankly, don't come begging to me again. I'll not give you the benefit of the doubt twice. For people who missed it, here's a Twitter thread that Ethan Klein took as a personal attack towards him. Absolutely delusional. And it got worse, actually. Nikis Diorio, the guy who used to have a show about reviewing rape reviews, was, I believe, what he's most known for on the internet, exposes Taylor Lorenz for going back in her Free Speech Friday series and adding a video so it looks more credible. She has one video previously, now two. So I guess followers of Ethan and haters of Taylor Lorenz begin. So talking about how Taylor Lorenz is saying that she loves free speech, but she has a show called Free Speech Friday. Can you believe she's got a show, but she's only got 2 episodes? What an expose. Pretty wild stuff. Look at that. My God. She doesn't actually care about this issue at all. How could she? Guys, Free Speech Friday is part of a Power User podcast. You can check my feed and listen to all my coverage on speech issues or read my many stories over the past decade. Sorry I don't have more YouTube videos out, but I'm a professional YouTuber. I'm a journalist. Again, I'm sorry I haven't had time to update my YouTube. I barely know how to make a playlist. Free Speech Friday is part of a Power User. You can easily look at all the stories and content for the years under the free speech is something that I've heavily been involved with and I've covered for over a decade. These people are like 8-year-olds who didn't admit to a YouTube playlist, so it doesn't exist. I'm primarily a writer, guys. Read my stories. Also, you can subscribe here. And then, apparently, Taylor reached out to Ethan, and they had a talk. I had a conversation with Ethan on Instagram. The man is in pain and lashing out. To clarify, because Ethan has lied about this, Washington Post has said multiple times on the record, I was never fired from my job. I don't know what to tell people. I quit to be independent, which was my dream for years. Ethan is in pain. He's extremely upset that I once again left a single reply to someone 50 comments down on a meme page months ago. Yes, literally a single comment on a meme page post that said he should clean up his house so his kids weren't crawling in dog poop. I felt bad when people said that his kids crawling in dog poop was a false rumor, and when he and his wife needed help with Reddit, I was happy to help because, again, I was always trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I've covered Reddit harassment campaigns for years. Hila has always been incredibly kind to everyone I know, and while I will defend my rights even when people who I hate speak freely online. Anyways, apparently Ethan is so triggered by this one single reply that up for an hour months ago that he wants to destroy me now. I think that's very sad. Ethan is a very broken person. Since I report critically on influencers, I've had a ton of them get mad, lash out, and make videos about me. I don't really care about any of that stuff, but it does make me sad that Ethan is so unwell. I probably won't even talk about this anymore because I truly have no stake in this drama. I've been traveled and swamped with work, but I figured I'd let people know since I don't have any ill towards that man, and I hope he finds peace. This man is so unwell. I don't have any kind of snark account. Here he is melting down because I left a single reply to someone months ago on my meme page. A meme page that was under my own name, and anyone can see has zero to do with Ethan Klein. When Ethan asked me for help with Reddit, I went to the company with his allegations. Reddit said that not only were his claims false, but a Reddit spokesperson told me Ethan Klein himself has engaged in violent, harassing rhetoric as well as threats of doxing. Reminder that this sort of news and information that Ethan Klein is trying to distract from. It's said that he's experiencing a mental health crisis and lashing out at people. I hope he gets the help he needs, but importantly, let's not lose focus on Israel's genocide. But apparently the live posts just kept going. Basically all of Sunday, if you were looking at one of two corners of the internet, there was two big battles going on. There was the centrists battling over on Blue Sky in the form of Will Stancil versus Matthew Iglesias, which itself that one was awesome. I was very happy to watch that, and it was very funny. And everyone else who is not Will Stancil or Matthew Iglesias won. We just all got to sit there watching two terrible clowns who are just so completely out of touch with the world fight each other. Beautiful. But this was the other kind of thing that you don't like to see, because on one end, Taylor Lorenz was posting, trying to be like, I never maliciously attacked Ethan. I have not, stated anything about Ethan. I made one post about Hasan and he's putting me on blast. This is fucked up. I even tried to help Ethan when he reached out to me saying that he was being unfairly targeted on Reddit. And, I reached out to Reddit on his behalf. Reddit responded to me saying that it's actually Ethan who was doing, targeted threats and doxing. And so that's as far as that went. And now it's just going back and forth every 2 seconds, because every single time Taylor would respond, Ethan would get madder and post something even more inflammatory. So Ethan's community is now promoting lies spread by a PR firm that hired YouTubers to smear me after I revealed sexual assault charges against Jake Paul. Just zero media literacy because they're so blinded by fandom. I write about these dynamics extensively in my book. When a YouTuber is experiencing a mental health crisis, not only do many of their fans ultimately feed into the psychosis and delusions of the influencer, but the influencer often begins attracting new fans who are suffering their own mental health crisis, and it becomes a feedback loop. It's sad, and it can ultimately result in the influencer and or their fans harming themselves as they retreat into the delusion and away from loved ones in reality. Social media is so broken, we need better protections in place for those experiencing these sorts of breaks. Instead, we're getting laws like the KOSA and bills that you're seeing in Utah, Florida, Texas that would make it harder for those struggling, especially young people, to get the help they need and build the communities they need. I don't think these dynamics will lead anywhere good. It's also one of those things where streams should not be your therapy. I'm not saying that, as a streamer, that you should not be honest. I'm not saying that as a streamer, you shouldn't feel comfortable sharing parts of yourself or being vulnerable. That's all within every single streamer's own capacity to determine how much they're going to feel comfortable with revealing to their audiences. But you should know also that you formed a parasocial relationship back and forth with your audience, and a large section of your audience, if you're continuously framing everything that is happening around you, including a genocide, as a attack on yourself, that you are a victim, that every single other community is targeting you, even though in this case, it's absurd to frame it that way. Taylor Lorenz, again, her crime was saying, I think it's unfair that Hasan got banned. This could set a dangerous precedent. That was her crime. And because she was guilty of that crime, she's now being put on blast and is all over the H3H3 Reddit. And they're posting all kinds of things about her and pulling up old tweets and being like, can you believe that she actually is part of the whole attacking Ethan's children thing? And can you believe this? And then Taylor had to come out and be like, just so we're all clear publicly, I did not have a vendetta against Ethan. I have never mentioned Ethan, and I didn't talk about him. In fact, I actually, when reached out to by Ethan, tried to help him. And that didn't go anywhere. And that's as far as this went. So, look out. Apparently all it takes now for you to become a target by Ethan Klein and H3H3, which includes him putting you on blast and, potentially people who work with you, is saying something positive about Hasan, or saying, I don't think that Hasan in this case should have been banned, which again, I don't think she's wrong on that. It's a sick community. I know. It's really unfortunate, because I think the whole community is now being weaponized effectively through this process to, take what is clearly a personal drama and beef between two people and turn it into this.
Don't let this happen to you. Go to serfscoffee.com to order the only end-to-end owned indigenous coffee company that delivers blood-free, conflict-free, and cruelty-free beans right to your door. 0% of people who drink serfscoffee.com have exploded spontaneously. By ordering right now, you get 10% off plus free shipping, and it's the best way to enjoy delicious coffee while not exploding. That's serfscoffee.com, serfscoffee.com.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This video wouldn't be at all possible without the financial support of all the people whose names you see on the screen right now. And if you want to unlock secret bonus episodes, content that we can't post anywhere else, or get the videos early before anyone else gets to see them, please go on to patreon.com/theserfs. For as little as $1, you can help support this channel and help make more videos like this possible. Our executive producers are Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Garrett Sandoval, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Boehm, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Tigwick, Trav, and Words Greenwood. And also, it wouldn't be possible without all the names you see on the screen right now. Again, if you want to help produce this content, it's only made possible through the funding of our patrons. Head on down to patreon.com/theserfs. That's patreon.com/theserfs.